Hello. Welcome to the Redesign with Prima Facebook group. I'm Cece from Cece Restyled, and I'm also a brand ambassador for Redesign with Prima. And today we are working on this chest I have right here. It is basically going to be all Prima'd out. So it's painted. I've started applying my transfers. There's some other hand painted elements I'm going to add. Today we are going to do something really fun. Hey everybody, make sure you say hi if you're hopping on. I'll try to get to questions, but as usual, I'm trying to pack a bunch of stuff into one 45 to 60-minute video. So I'm going to try to work and hopefully I can catch the questions as best I can. But so this piece, I'm calling it the Moonchild piece because it is inspired by a line of scrapbooking papers and things by Frank Garcia, who is a designer for Prima Marketing. And he created a line called Moonchild, and I used those scrapbooking papers as the inspiration for this piece. I liked the colors, and I love moons and stars and celestial things, and I really liked the flowers. There is this new VIP transfer, only available from certain retailers. The VIP retailers, there's a list of those on the Redesign with Prima website, but only they carry this transfer. And there's a mold as well. It is called, shoot, I can't think of the bird mold, what that's called, but it's birds. I've used it over here, but I'm not going to show you right now. If you really want to know, I'll drop it in the comments later if anybody wants to know the name of the mold. The transfer is called Blossom Botanica, and like I said, only available from, it's exclusive to the VIP retailers, and I love it. It's just, it goes so well with these colors that I've used, or that I pulled from Frank's papers, really. So I'm using all the Prima on this, and today we're going to do a couple different things. We're going to apply a little bit of the Blossom Botanica transfer. You can see here, kind of, I've got a little circle here. I'm going to have a planet or a moon, some kind of orb, planet, moon, whatever, right there. I haven't gotten a chance to put that on yet. Ideally, I would have laid that down and painted that first, but I will work around that. So we're going to go ahead and lay down a branch. If you can see, I'll show you. If you can see see how the branches, they kind of go left or right. Obviously, branches go one way or the other. So I've got them coming in from the left and from the right, kind of back and forth. From this way, then from this way, and then down here I've got some little bokeh dots. I don't know. They're a photography thing. It has to do with focusing and light reflection and these little orbs that, light makes when photos are out of focus. But that's what those are. So on the opposite side, I want to balance those out with some suspended heart lockets with wings and keys. Just a few little guys sprinkled in here to balance out this side. And they're going to be suspended from chains. So I want to leave enough space to do that here. But they're going to be appearing as though they're suspended from the branch. So we got to add our branch appropriately. And that means it's going to be coming in from this side to about here, hopefully, and then we can suspend our little elements from there. Okay, so I guess I could draw it out with pencil if I wanted to, but I'm just gonna wing it, and then we'll worry about our moon a little later, and I'm gonna get to it. So Blossom Botanica is what we're using. I've already pulled apart the pieces that I want to use from it. So for now, it's got all these pretty butterflies, and I know there's a lot of transfers with butterflies, but I mean, A, that's okay in my book because I freaking love butterflies, and B, they're different. They're not the same butterflies over and over. Like, they're always different. Like, that one's so pretty, that like aqua, and then this periwinkle butterfly. I like him. So we're gonna put this branch, will technically be upside down, but I don't think you'll really be able to tell. So we're gonna pull this branch in over like so. It's gonna be coming in, let's see, bring it right up to the moon almost. It's gonna be coming in this way, and our chains and things are gonna be suspended from that little branch. I guess we could turn it kind of this way so we have a little bit more room here. We'll turn it a little bit. okay? And then this guy I'm gonna cut off, and after I paint my moon, then I'm going to add him, overlapping the moon just a little bit. I don't know which way it'll be coming from. It might be coming from this way, maybe that way. I don't know yet. I'll have to see how it looks. So I'm gonna cut my little branch that I'm using. I'm gonna cut that off. And these transfers have grid lines on, the newer ones they have grid lines on the clear paper so you can line them up easily or know where to cut straight. However, I'm not going to be applying mine straight. See how I would normally just cut right there on that grid line? I'm going to be doing it a little bit cocked like this, just a little bit, okay? So I want to make sure I'm placing it where I want it, which is about here. So what I'm going to do is I could do a couple things. I'm just going to kind of cut it off straight where I want it to end. But if you are working with something that's at quite a bit of an angle, something that, you know, you're not sure you're going to be able to lay down again exactly how you have it and you want it exact, you can take a pencil, which I don't have exactly. You can take a pencil and make little tick marks. So say I want to line up right here, okay? One there, you want to have like 3 marks, okay? So I'd make one there and make one there. That way, when I peel off my backing paper and I try to go lay it down again, I can line up my 3 tick marks and I know exactly which angle and where I had that placed and where exactly I wanted it when I was, you know, holding it up to plan. Does that make sense? And the pencil, if you're using most any kind of paint, it will either just wipe off fairly easily or erase off gently. For most paints, or you know, just slap a little flour over it, whatever. So I'm going to use that 1 tick mark. I'm not super worried about my placement on this one, or else I would have done that on 3 tick marks. But I'm lining up my edge and my 1 tick mark just to kind of make sure I have it where I want it. And that looks good. That's where I want it. I just want to make sure I have enough room for my chains and my chains and things to hang. So I'm going to go ahead and rub this on real quick. Maybe. And you can use your transfer stick that comes with the transfer, or you can use this fancy transfer. Well, you probably don't want to use a broken one. This one's broken, but normally it's got another little doodad on the side. But I'm gonna use my stick for this, okay? So no big deal. I just want to rub it on. I sometimes start from the middle and work my way out, or I go all. Oh, there's nowhere really good to hold on this thing. Start from the middle and work my way out, or I start from one end and work my way to the other, or I go over the whole piece in one direction, up and down, let's say, and then I go over the whole piece in the other direction, so left and right. There's a couple different ways a couple different methodic ways to rub it on, but no matter how you get there, you just want to make sure you're rubbing it on very well. Make sure I got my edges. Okay, so now I'm going to pick one corner and just peel it slowly back. Make sure my transfer is adhered. If anything is not sticking, just lay your clear backing paper back down and give it a good rub. Sometimes these little bits, like the pieces of little leaves or buds, little individual guys, sometimes they are a little stubborn, so give them another little hit there. Let me see. So far so good, right? That was the easy one. Some are a little more stubborn than others. That one was pretty easy going. So I'm going to take my finger, the pad of my finger or the palm of my hand, and rub firmly over the whole transfer. I don't want to pop any bubbles or smooth out any wrinkles. Okay, you don't want any of those. They're bad news. Make sure edges are down, okay? You'll see the little clear line around the whole edge. The clear line, if you rub that in really well, it reduces the possibility of it being, seen. And then when you seal it, it'll further make that little halo or ghosted outline disappear. So if you see it on a dark color, just make sure you do your best to rub in with your finger or palm. I mean, if you rub too hard with the stick, depending on what wood you're working on, it could dent the wood. So you just want to, firmly rub with the palm or fingertip, and here we're good. That's on there, okay? And I'm going to seal this whole piece in a dead flat sealer. So I'm going to go ahead and add my little trinkets here, and then I will either seal over them or around them. It's not going to hurt, kind of depending, I guess, on how it ends up going. But I've also got some little butterflies I'm going to add, but I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to wait and see how my moon looks and kind of add those around the moon. So we're going to hold off on those. And the parts for my suspended molds. Okay, so I cast my molds in resin. That's my favorite thing to cast molds out of, to be honest. It's the most detailed. It's the most detailed. It's gonna last. It adheres well. I mean, there's all the positives of resin. The negatives, I guess, would be it's a little finicky. It's kind of messy. If you're like me, you make a mess of everything. But after some practice, I'm getting pretty good at making them a little cleaner. But I used wings. It's called wings for these molds, and they are. There's a little heart locket there. You can see. That's this guy. Okay. And then the wings, there's a variety of wings. And then I have another mold like this called keys. Okay, it's from Prima Marketing. It's the same size and it's just various keys. So I'm gonna go ahead and start placing those where I want them. So I've got them all here. I gave them a shot of gold spray paint for a base coat. I'm gonna paint them with Alchemy Metallic waxes to give them some dimension and color. But I like to shoot them with a little base coat instead of just primer or something boring. I like to use gold because it sparkles through. So I also need, I've got my hot glue, and I am applying with hot glue, but it's not just any hot glue, it's Gorilla hot glue. It's the only hot glue I'll use to attach molds or anything really. And if I'm out of it or I'm not using it or I'm not in a time crunch, I use Type Bond Quick and Thick for my molds. Those are the only two things that I use. So no Walmart hot glue, that will pop off. Gorilla glue is legit. Trust me, I've had to remove lots of molds that I applied with Gorilla Glue and it was not fun. It damaged the whole surface of the piece. So let's go ahead and start with this little guy. So let's see, we're gonna do, maybe we'll do like one loner there and we'll do a couple over here kind of hanging out. So I want to start down here. And yes, I didn't do a thorough job spraying them. I was just trying to get some shimmer on them, but we're gonna paint them, like I said, with the Alchemy Metallic. So yes, I'm missing some spots. That's fine. So first I want to place my wings where I want them. And then I'm going to make sure that my heart mold will fit on there and not be, I want to have more of the mold in contact with a surface than I do have it hanging off. Does that make sense? So I've got the little locket part kind of hanging off. It's not really attached to anything, but most of the heart is attached to the wings, so it's going to be secure. So you want to have at the very least 50%. I prefer about 75 to 80% of your mold adhered and touching something. Okay, if I can't do that, then I like to stick something else behind it, another mold. Say, for example, I want to overlap. I wouldn't probably do this particular design, but just for example, I would overlap. That way it's secured 100%. Otherwise, you're just, leaving room for it to have the chance to pop off easily. So I'm going to take my pencil and kind of mark where I have those wings because I like that positioning and it looks good to me. So actually I want to lower them a little bit. I want to lower them about there. I think that's where I want them. So I'm going to just make sure my heart fits one more time. I think that'll work. So I'm just gonna gently trace a little bit of the outline of my heart so I know where to put them back on. Okay, and I say gently because there's a possibility that it may show some. So you don't want to trace the whole thing out, you know, outline it really deep. You just want to make sure you know where you're putting it roughly. So let's go ahead and pick one of our wings. And I'm going to throw a little bit of hot glue. I like to kind of start in the center and then let it kind of pull out or help it along a little bit with, you know, the nozzle. You don't want to put it too close to the edge because then it just squirts out and you have to clean it up, and that's a pain. I mean, why work more than you have to, you know? Okay, so here's where we are. We had it here, right there. I lined it up with my little marks that I made. And then I just want to kind of, I guess, form a clamp real quick with my hands because the hot glue will set up pretty quickly. So you want to make sure you get it on there as fast as you can and as secure as you can, just like that, okay? So this one will go here. Let's go ahead and put our hot glue on the back of that one, okay? And the center, kind of let it pull up, and then I just, you know, help it towards the edges with the nozzle of the gun. And then I throw it on the floor because I really want it to break. Okay, so that's gonna go there. I'm gonna clamp it. Let that glue really get in there and set up. Okay, doesn't take too long. All right, so now it's the heart locket's turn. He's gonna go right there. That's where he's gonna live. So pretty. I love hearts and wings and lockets and all the things. I don't know why. I don't know why. Does anybody know why? Is it just a trendy thing? Is that why I like it? Is it like a, you know, I don't know. That could be why. But I feel like I've kind of always been drawn to those things. Okay, we're just gonna hold it on until it's secure. So this one is unsecure. This one, the back of it wasn't completely flat, so I'm a little bit worried about its touching points here. Feels okay though. So, and here's what else I do to kind of secure elements that are layered or kind of on top. Sometimes I squirt a little hot glue back there to get there in the back, and nobody's gonna see it. It's just gonna kind of slowly drip down in there and touch the back of my locket and the back of the piece and secure it further, but it won't show. So I just like to squirt some back behind there. And oops. Try not to be messy with it, but you know the stupid strings from the glue gun. All right. Help it along a little bit. Push it back there behind the... Okay. Stupid strings. Okay, I think that one's gonna be good. Okay, so that'll work. So now I've got other molds to throw on there, but I do want to be able to show you the suspension with the chains. So I'm going to hold off on the other molds for now, and I'm going to go ahead and jump to the chain. So I've just got jeweler's chains. There, you just buy them at the you know, the craft store, you know, in the jewelry section. I have all different sizes, but I chose these kind of smaller, thinner ones because I think that they're a little more delicate. They're lighter, so they have, you know, they're not as heavy and weighted down on the piece. And also I think the scale of them fits better with my lockets rather than the big fat chain as, you know, a different option. So I could just attach this and let the chain kind of like go behind the locket, and that would look okay, I think, but I would rather do it, you know, suspend it from the actual, you know, hook part of the locket. So I've got some jump rings also from the jewelry section, and I got different sizes and different colors, but I just grabbed the gold ones because gold goes with everything. And then I've got some more chain, just some more options. I like this bronze chain with this piece because it's kind of, I don't want to say steampunk, but it's got a bit of a steampunk vibe. It's just not quite as dark. It's a little more like a feminine happy steampunk. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take one of these jump rings, okay, and let's see, I think this size will work. When you're working with chains and jewelry components, you wanna make sure you have a couple needle nose pliers. I prefer 2. I guess you might be able to get away with 1, but 2 is better, and some little snippers. Again, jewelry section. So in the jump ring, most jump rings, not all jump rings, are open-ended. Some are closed, but you can just kind of, here's what I do. I twist it like this. Okay, so one part towards me and one part away from me. That way, when I go to close it, it will close flush. Okay, so if you pull it this way and you pull those ends apart, the chances of you getting them back together in a perfect circle is kind of slim to none. So yeah, that's why you want to just turn it like this, okay? Away from you. And I keep getting 1,000 notifications that say Marshall is watching. Like, those are the only notifications I'm getting. Like 100 of them that say Marshall is watching. That's weird. So anyways, I'm not ignoring anyone. I'm just not really getting anything except for the fact that Marshall is watching. That's funny. I wish I could screenshot that right now, but I'm going to keep going. So I want to open it, okay, twist it just enough to make sure that I can get it around my locket, okay? And I'm sorry I can't get my tripod any lower. I hope that you can see that okay. The little top part of the locket, but so I want to grab my chain. I don't cut it yet because I'm not sure what length I want it. So I'm going to put my little jump ring on my chain, just like that. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it on my little, on my mold. And you don't have to do this part. You can just secure the chain to the piece, okay? You don't have to attach it to the mold itself if you can make it look right. But, you know, I got to get all detailed about it. Okay, so there we go. Got our jump ring closed. So you want to gently, you don't want to pull on this, obviously. Be kind of gentle with it. So I told you I'm going to have it suspended from the branches. So let's just say we go up here to this branch, okay? I'm going to give it a little bit of slack, all right? Give it a little bit of slack. See how it's, if I pull it, it's kind of tight. I don't want to do that. I'm going to give it a little bit of slack so it can lay flat against the back of my piece, or flat against my piece. And this is where I want to secure it, right here, up like it's up in this, you know, hanging from this branch here. So I want to pick the link that looks like it's hanging from the branch, or at least coming down from the branch, okay? Which would be, I think this one would work. I've got these little brad nails. Okay, these are the kind that they put, you know, keyhole, you know, those little keyhole plates in, or certain hardware on antiques. They use these little brad nails to secure those. See the little tiny heads on them? They're just big enough to hold that chain onto the piece and not show too much. Okay, I don't want it to look like I nailed it in, so we're going to try to minimize the look of the nail. So I'm just going to hold that and nail it in where it belongs. Make sure I give it a little slack here, but not too much. So I'm going to nail it in and try not to hammer my finger like I usually do. Okay, I don't want to nail it all the way in tight. I want to give it a tiny bit of, you know, nail showing for the chain to hang from. So about 1/16 of an inch. Okay, I don't want it so far off my piece that people snag it. I want it in there secure enough to hold my chain. So about 1/16 of an inch for this to just hang from, okay? And then I want to find out, okay, so how much do I want that to hang? Do I want it to hang short like that? Do I want it to hang down long like that? I think somewhere around just like this would work, okay? So almost halfway, maybe not quite, is what I think I'm going to do. So I'm going to grab my nail, a little brad nail, maybe. There we go. And he's going to hang from this branch. Oh, that one's really crooked. So is that one. Who put old nails in here? Somebody's going to get sucker punched. All right, so I'm going to put my nail in here where the chain goes, and then we're going to secure it with a little bit of adhesive in a minute, just on the points where it's nailed in. about a 1/16 of an inch for it to hang from. Now, I had thought about this too. Normally, I would cut that off with my nippers, okay? This little extra bit, I would cut it off and save that for a different project. But I was kind of thinking it might be cool too if from our lock on the other end of the chain, maybe we suspended a key. You know, like a little faux skeleton key, suspended that from the other end of the lock chain. I don't know, I haven't decided that yet. So I'm gonna let that hang, I'm gonna let it hang out. In the meantime, to secure this, okay, how is that gonna be secure? What if somebody walks by and, you know, against it and it rips off? So you're wondering how I'm gonna secure it. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use cyanoacrylate, which is the mamma jamma of all super glues. It is in most super glues, but this is pure 100% super glue, okay? So you don't want to get on your fingers if you can help it, and you don't want to overuse it. Too much is not, more is more is not a good idea in the case of cyanoacrylate. So the points where I want it to be secure, like right here where that little jump ring is, I'm just going to put a little dot of it, a little glue weld, okay? Little weld of glue, okay? Don't go crazy, all right? Don't go crazy. It'll take too long to dry, and you don't need that much. This is like legit super glue. You don't need much to be effective. In fact, it's a little counterproductive to put too much, okay? So on this little brad nail at the top where it's hanging, a little tiny weld of glue, just a dot, okay? You don't want so much that it drips. You just want enough to hold that chain in place. And then again on this one too. Just a dot. Okay, so we're gonna let that dry. When it dries, I may do one more dot, maybe not. Okay, so I'm gonna let this hang until I decide if I'm gonna put a key on it or not. And these parts here, this chain and this chain, they're fairly free flowing, okay? And I wanted it like that on purpose. Yes, I could glue them on or nail them on the whole way, but I wanted it to be a little free flowing. It looks more realistic that way. So I'm gonna let that be, and we're gonna go ahead and paint our little, mold that we have on there. You know, I'm going to do a few more, maybe one here, maybe one there. I don't know. I'm going to do a few more in that same manner, different configurations, different wings, different molds. But we're going to move on to adding some flair to our little mold here. And I wish that I had, actually, you know what? I'm going to grab my other... I'm going to grab my other tripod real quick because I think I can get the camera down here to where you can actually see right close, okay? Right up close. And we're going to use metallic paints. They're from the Finnabair line by Prima Marketing. There's Opal Magic, Metallic, and Sparks. They're all little pots of acrylic paint. They're all sparkly. They're all shimmery. They're all goodness. Why so many different names? I'm not exactly positive, but... if you've seen these, you know, on Etsy or from your Prima retailer or online, that's what they are. They're little pots of paint that come in all the colors, all the shimmers, all the metallics. So I want primarily gold, but I want to do touches of maybe a little bit of this romantic pink. Maybe I want to do a little coral. Maybe I want to do this. This one's called Pink Blush. I'm thinking I'm kind of like that one too. So let's pick kind of like maybe a romantic pink. How about this one? Spring Blossom. Look, it matches the Transfer Blossom Botanica very well. See? Perfect. So I want a little bit of this is Art Alchemy Metallic. It's, again, the Finnabair line from Prima. And I have a feeling it's going to be painted shut, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But these are amazing for painting your molds or any other hand-painted elements. I'm going to use them to paint my moon up here. They come in enough variety of colors that you can do whatever. The Opal Magic paints, they shine 2 different colors. Depending on what base coat you have, they look different on dark colors and different on light colors. And that's what these little bouquet dots are. So when you look at them from different angles, they look different. And then I think for my wings, I might just want, like, let's do some Opal Magic. This one is blue/gold, which will go well with our gold. So this one's one of the Opal Magic. So we'll do blue, gold, and Spring Blossom. And we'll start with that. I'm gonna grab my other tripod really quickly. It's right here. All right. That way you can see. You can see how I'm not painting the molds straight out. I'm highlighting them. Highlighting them with the metallic color, and it just gives them some depth and interest, and it just makes them look, it just what's the word, it just takes them to another level. I mean, molds in themselves on pieces are beautiful and make them custom and pretty and interesting, but you know, there's a whole other level when you start adding different finishes and paints and metallics onto your molds. Okay, I'm just telling you, you know, you don't know until you try it. Right, let me turn this on real quick here. Boom. Okay, now you can see. Okay, let me show you what I'm talking about, the Opal Magic. Okay, see those little dots, those little orbs? Those are out of the Opal Magic. Whoa, this thing has a life of its own. The Opal Magic, that's what I use to make these dots. So you can see how when I go from different angles, see how it kind of changes the look of those. So up here, you know, from up here it looks a little bit different than, you know, from back here. Anyways, I'm obsessed with the Opal Magic. It's just literally magic to me. All right, so there's our little mold, our little lone mold hanging there, hanging out all by himself. So I'm gonna shake up my paints, grab a couple little paint brushes, and we'll make these real pretty. I just need a little brush. I don't need a big one. I like the kind of flat 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch brushes, preferably 1/4 inch for these, for painting my molds. So something like that. Angled is fine too, or a rounded edge, but I do like about 1/4 inch. So let's do the heart first. So the heart in Spring Blossom, I knew this one was going to give me trouble opening it. I can see the paint dried up in the lid. I can see it. Oh, got it. I got it. I can't believe I got it that quickly. It usually takes me way longer to get these open. I make the mold out of resin. I can see questions now. The transfer is called Blossom Botanica. Let me see if I can. It's kind of a Blossom. I know it's backwards for you, but Blossom Botanica, not Blossom Botanical. Okay, so Blossom Botanica. And let's see, Spring Blossom is, oh, look how pretty that is. It's so pretty, right? So let's do a little bit of, I'm not totally loading up my brush. I'm loading it up and then I'm offloading it on the edge of the jar, which I should probably try to keep a little bit less messy if I want to be able to open my paints ever again. I'm a messy gal. I can't help it. Ugh. Okay, I'll do that later. So I got some on my brush, and I'm just going to lightly go over the tops of my details. See? I'm going to start there. If I want more color, I will add more color, but for now, make sure you get rid of your glue, your hot glue strings too. Those are not cute. They're not cute on a finished piece. So I'm just lightly going over the tops of my molds on the details. Gently. You can always add more paint if you want more color. Okay, so I got these little details, and I want to do a little bit. I'm just going to kind of go like this around the bottom, kind of bottom little corner, I guess. I don't know. Bottom little angle here to create almost like a highlight. I don't know what you would call it on this, but I'm not painting the whole thing, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Just give it a little touch of color. Just a little hint of color, right? You can use your finger to blend it in, whatever you want. Okay, so that's our little touch of color on our heart. I don't know, we may look at it and add some more or something different. But for now, that's good. So our Opal Magic, we chose blue gold. So you can kind of see in the bottle how it shimmers 2 different colors, right? Ooh, isn't that pretty? I am obsessed. And, oh, that one opened on the spot. Good on ya. Pretty, right? Mm-hmm. How can you not love that iridescence? And I got my other little 1/4 inch flat. Just gonna get some Opal Magic loaded up on my brush. Offload the excess on the side of my jar. And then I'm gonna brush the tops of my wings. Just the tops for now. See how far we want to take it. Almost like the sunlight is just shining down on the tops of our little wings here. And I find if you hold your brush at more of like a 45 or slanted angle, it helps you to just brush the tops of the details instead of getting down in there, if that's what you're going for, which is usually what I am going for. It's just the tops. That way you have the dimension of the gold down in the details, and then the highlight of the lighter color or whatever color just on the top. So I think that'll do her, right? Just a little highlight, not too crazy. Not too crazy. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we're just doing a little bit of highlight coming down the wing. By all means, if you want to paint the whole wing, you can. That's not what I'm going for here, so we're just brushing the tops. All right, and there we go. So it's subtle, but it's definitely a change, you know? It just adds, those little details you can add just add so much. They make such a difference to the you know, how much effort it looks like you put into the piece, honestly. Like, those little details are what's up. So there we go. There's our little clocky, or not clocky, our little heart locket with wings flying away. Got to decide if we want to hang a key from that or not. But anyway, so I'm going to hop off and finish that up, or make an attempt to. But I don't know if I see... After they dry hard, how do you make it adhere flat up against your piece? Oh, so when you're using the quick setting resin, as soon as they turn white, they can be removed. They'll still be a little bit, I don't want to say stretchy, but they kind of can stretch. If they're ornate, they'll stretch when you pull it out of the mold, but they bounce back. So right after they turn white, when you start to peel them out gently, they're still pliable, they're still flexible. You can still put them around corners, curves, edges, whatever. So the longer you wait, the more rigid they get. And so if you wait overnight, they're going to be hard. If you wait a couple hours, they'll be a little more rigid, but still somewhat bendy. So, the sooner you can pull them out of the molds once they turn white, the better chances you have of conforming them to a curve or something like that, curvy surface. So let's see. Any more questions? I don't see any more questions. I can't find them all in between all the notifications that say Marshall is watching. There's a glitch or something. Okay, I can't see any more questions from this. So, bokeh dots, yes. All right, well, thanks for hanging out with me and tuning in and watching me suspend some molds. It's a lot of fun. Yes, it can be a little tedious if you get crazy with it, but that's the fun part for me. The tedious parts of the process are what is the fun part for me. So you don't have to get crazy with it, But yep, that's our little guy. So we're gonna work on finishing up that piece. You all have a great day, and I'll be back here at Thursday at noon in the Redesign with Prima group, working with some more Prima and doing some more fun things. So join me next week at noon Thursday, and have a great week, or have a great weekend rather. Bye.